Hello and welcome to the EchoChamber podcast. My name is Tony EchoChamber, or is it Michael EchoChamber? I can't get it right anymore. Listen, we'll skip being funny. What should it have been?
Oh, Michael Chamber, yeah, and then you would have been joined by Lisa Chambers, JK Rowling, the author of Chamber Secrets, and various other chamber-related guests. But
listen, folks, we are thrilled to be welcomed into the Tortoise Shack, Twitter sensation, Ireland's best big dirty fry, Micheal Fry, and Michael, I have to say, mate, I'm just surprised you didn't come in with your bowler hat and your sash, because I was convinced you were down with the lads to stop to campaign for the no.
Yeah, home to vote, as it were. No, I didn't bring my sash.
No, listen, no, thanks very much for coming on. And the reason I'm being so flippant about it is because today is a very significant day in Ireland. We have the polls are still open. There's people still going to the ballot box, and we're really hopeful and optimistic that we're gonna see a big change for women's healthcare, for equality, and for actual compassion for how we treat one another. So I think it's actually really good that you're here, because you lighten the mood, because there's a lot of people feeling, a little bit tense at the moment. Can I ask you honestly? Did you realise when you were putting out those videos that it was going to find an audience so quickly?
Not at all. I mean, the first one I did it was literally just me pretending to be a news talk presenter, where it was like, welcome back to Teen Talk, and it was just kind of really boring kind of, how would news talk try and attract teens, and it wouldn't exactly be like that.
Michael Teen.
And yeah, that kind of I got 1,000 favourites for that, and I was like, oh, that did really well, I'll do another one, and then I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And then the big one was the Derry Londonderry one, because I did like 3 or 4 of them, and I was like, okay, kind of law of diminishing returns. Yeah. That's the end of me. I had a good run. Yeah. I'll do this one. I had fun, if nothing else. Yeah. And then I even just turned my phone off for like half an hour, and then came downstairs and it had blown up, and I was like, what is wrong with people? It's like, I don't even find that funny that much. Like,
but there was a classic moment this week when the poll corps and the political correspondents were at a press conference, and someone actually did, I can't remember which politician was, actually said into the microphone, speaking about the people in Derry Londonderry. And Gav Riley and all the guys all started, Derry Londonderry, Derry London. And they tweeted about it going, we can't listen to people say it anymore because you've destroyed it for everyone,
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah. No, it caught a moment, like, I mean, you're sitting here with two Egypts. Sorry, Martin's here, folks, by the way.
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm just listening. at the moment.
But we're sitting here and we're talking about it. But the funny part about what actually really happened was people picked up on it. Even I saw the Rubber Bandits shouted out a couple of times. I mean, that in itself, I think I was talking to you and you said something like on Twitter your followers went from something like 700 to 3,000.
Oh, yeah, I had 400 when I started doing the videos, and now I've like 5,600.
Yeah.
So, but it just kept climbing. It was the Rubber Bandits, I think, and Carol Kinsler from Joe.e who started retweeting me, and then suddenly it just went off from there.
Yeah.
So
and how was it taken at home? How did it go at home?
It was an odd conversation where I had to be like, because my parents are very private people and they don't go near social media or the internet or anything. And Joe.e had done the article about my videos, and I was like, oh God, I better tell my dad before he finds it or before someone sends it to him. And I rang him. He's like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, just.
The Irish dad, what's he doing ringing me?
Dad, I need to have that conversation.
Imagine you, Martin, if you put up the phone and you say, Dad, I need to have the chat, and he'd go, Martin, what's bail? What have you done?
Absolutely convinced he's going to have to bail me out one of these days, and the second person he's going to have to bail out is my mother.
Oh no. But it did, it absolutely exploded. And I remember sitting there and my poor kids giving me grief for actually humming along to you with your the sing talk was a particular favourite, you know. But that's now, you know, no offence to Minister Earl Murphy, but I just loved the having a go at the homelessness thing. But in song was a bit of genius now, you know.
Yeah, because I was kind of like after I'd done a few videos, I was like, okay, I have a platform of sorts. Yeah. What do I want to talk about? What do I want to do? So I kind of just shoehorned the housing crisis into something. Yeah, I don't know.
But that's clever, and it's clever to shoehorn it in there, and everybody picked up on it. Everybody liked it. And it did. It sort of gave them a nice spanking there in Leinster House. I quite liked that.
But now there is the satire paradox. Because the problem there is you end up with someone like you could end up, and I'm picking on Murphy because it was in that particular clip.
Just pick on him.
But no, but if you put him in the clip, he could turn around and almost feel that's fabulous. I got a shout out. You know, it was the Harry Enfield and the Loads of Money character. If you remember, he said he did it as a parody of the Tory voter that was kind of out for himself. And then the fellas who were out for themselves went, "Yeah, I know that guy. He's a cool guy." And they're like, and Harry Enfield goes, "Better kill him." And he did. He killed him in the end, and he had to kill the character. And Loads of Money. I think he had a number one hit. Now, you know, these days, it's if you sell about 15 records in Ireland, you could probably charge. You know.
So, is there any plans to take off people in other places?
You mean like politicians or kind of...
to maybe spread the circle a little to take on other challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I toyed with doing impressions before, and the first one I did was Eamon Ryan, and I think it was the Girl Talk video. Just because I actually quite like Eamon Ryan, but I felt kind of bad including him in with
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, well, he was in Ronan Mullen and Archbishop Durham, right?
Oh,
it was the Girl Talk one, yeah. So it was just kind of like, I don't know, I just like the idea of him saying, "Oh my God, babes." And I recorded that.
What's the goss?
Who are you loving, hon? Yeah. So, what I find interesting as well is that the Green Party Twitter account is favoured that. Favourites all the references to it. But Eamon Ryan hasn't favoured us. I'm not sure he likes it or not, but
it's that it has to be actually because it's always news talk predominantly. Yeah, you know, it's predominantly news talk, and you know, we love to refer to them as Evil Incorporated, and you know, Evil Inc. But and we've great, and like I've been on news talk but so I'm saying that slightly tongue in cheek, but I'd imagine, you know, that moment where you do the Sean Moncrief intro, and you're, you know, and you're doing that, and you're looking at, and you're thinking, now Sean Moncrief has had on people who have literally on the show. He's had on people to say they bottled air from the foothills of this beautiful valley in Austria, and they sell the air in a jar. Yeah, and he's had them on. And I'm going, so you're going to have this guy on who sells nothing but an empty bottle. And this guy actually does a really good impression of his Sean. Come on, Moncrief, get with the program, mate. Like, I would have thought News Talk would have been thrilled about something like this. Have you had any like, there's been no real, I haven't seen them, I know Richard Chambers loves you, but that's just, Richard is out there, you know?
Yeah, no, I haven't really gotten anything from them. I'm kind of like, oh God.
At least it wasn't cease and desist.
With compared to Oliver Callan, they all listen out for Oliver, and very scared of what Oliver has to say. Scared of what Oliver has to say. So I can understand the trepidation. You know, I can really understand that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's only because I've listened to lots of news talk. Because lots of other people do as well. My parents did, and it was always just kind of something you could always get the rhythm of their voices. So that's what I decided to do. Yeah. And then because I was so familiar with the formats of their show, because everything in radio is strictly formatted, it's easy to make fun of. So you can kind of continue on a radio show, add something in really weird, and just keep going as if it's part of the show. So like the Moncrief, the most obvious Moncrief one I did was I interviewed this woman, or I pretended to be this woman who wrote a book about Scooby-Doo and the Consumer Price Index, which is like kind of similar to stuff he's done before. Because I remember him interviewing some guy about the pet rock phenomenon. Some guy had written a whole book about pet rocks. Yeah. I just thought it was amazing.
No, but and he does that all the time.
But News Talk leave themselves wide open to it. I mean, they leave themselves wide open to it because they do have this particular cadence, this particular way of speaking. I dislike it, and unlike you two, I won't listen to News Talk. And a blue fucking thing. There is no chance I will listen to them.
And there I am, and watch. I'll be up tomorrow morning, and I'll be giving out about what was said on News Talk. So don't worry about it. I'm still listening. Yeah. So I'm in there. But like I'm not even going to pick on them. I just think it's very funny that we pick on the thing that they have the cadence, as you said, Martin, because radio has become like that now, where there is a formula. There's an intro. Like if you take a show where they want to say, we'll take a contrarian view, or we'll have opposing views, and we'll have a moderator who is, what was the line you used? That's a loaded question. Was one of the that's the job of a News Talk interviewer half the time, to try and phrase a question in such a way as to provoke let's have a row.
Well, we've seen that cadence from News Talk has spread now into RTÉ, particularly with the Claire Byrne live show. It's almost a carbon copy of what they're doing on News Talk. We'll have 3 minutes of this really heartfelt, awful story, and followed up by fluffy kittens jump through hoops. And it's like, where's the continuity in this? Is anybody looking at this and saying, no, maybe give 10 minutes to the really ill people and 2 minutes to the cat, Yeah. But no, it's gone off the wall altogether.
But it's quite a common thing in those kind of magazine or chat shows, like This Morning and the One Show as well in the UK. They'll do something about like a cancer survivor or something really sad, like someone who died in an accident, and then they'll talk to somebody with the biggest boobs in Britain. I find us doing that a lot as well. The Late Late Show is very like that as well.
Yeah, but it's like the Sun newspaper. It really is. You can open up a big pair of boobs.
First page of the Sun newspaper tomorrow morning will probably be yes for women's rights, and the next page will be a woman with a top off. And that's the sad reality of it. And but we're gone kind of that way, where if you remember when Katie Hopkins was arrested in South Africa, was it ketamine?
That's not what she was arrested for. Yeah. She was arrested for inciting
racial hate. Yeah, but literally the fall. I remember just all I could think was like thoughts and prayers with Pat Kenny and Ryan Tubridy at this difficult time, because she would get on the radio, or she'd be on the radio, or she'd be on. And it would be in that scenario. Let's get Katie on to stir it on the Late Late Show, and Ryan to look at her and go, yes, I disagree with you sternly, but she'd be on again in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, because it's a ratings game there. The Claire Byrne debacle, because it was a debacle. Ratings, I believe, actually, if you heard, let's say the show opened, I think in theory it opened with something like 300,000 viewers. It finished with over 400,000. It was one of that rare thing where people started going, you got to check this out. It's all going down here, and people jumped in because it was a blood sport. It was She opened the show and she said, "We're going to have an honest discussion about the debate around the referendum." And then more or less turned around and said, "Now clap loudest. Whoever claps loudest wins."
The clapometer. Yeah. I was taken back to. You're way too young to remember Opportunity Knocks and Huey Green, but I remember Tony telling me about it. And they had a clapometer, and whoever clapped loudest won. And that's just what it was like. And I was like, I turned it off. I wasn't bothered. Mind you, today there's a great buzz out there today. I have to say,
it is. I quite like people beeping. And
there's lots out there. Like we came around the corner. There's people there on the corner with the sign saying "beep beep" for yes. And we were dropping around cornettos to the girls, and they were all thrilled with themselves. There's a lovely atmosphere to it, and I think they're saying that the turnout is so much higher.
Massive, and the rural areas have come out. The newly registered voters have all come out and voted. So, this is hard to call this now. I looked at bookies last night, and according to the bookies, it was 1-9 on for yes and 5-1 against for no. So, on those odds, let's hope that the vote follows the odds. They're rarely wrong in the bookies. They're rarely wrong in what they call it.
Yeah, no, I think I can only speak for me. I'm very optimistic. I think the fact that there's a high turnout, that we know there's there's more than over 100,000 people newly registered to vote. They didn't go we know predominantly they went to the trouble to register to vote yes.
Well, the best.
have friends who've travelled from all over Europe.
Yeah, lots of my friends have come home because I think May is a good time as well because people were going to come home anyway. And once they heard there's a vote on, right, well, we'll book our holidays for that weekend then because vote's a Friday as well. So it kind of works out that way for a lot of people.
Yeah. I saw a great tweet today and I can't even remember the woman who put it up. So my apologies. And it was after this referendum. It'll be much easier to meet if you're single and you're looking to meet guys. You can cut out a lot of bullshit if you just say, "What way did you vote in the referendum?"
Sue Kirk.
Sue Kirk was it?
Great tweet. I keep saying I find it strange. Like, how can all these women are funny? What's that all about? You know, what sort of pay? Like, see, this first they're going to get rid of the referendum, and then they're going to take over the being funny. There'll be no room for men anymore.
We've had some really funny women on here. Dizzy Dove is a funny person.
Well, you have to. That's what I want to do. Actually, do say this on this show. I think it's important. We because it's the day that it's on. It's important to say the activists have been phenomenal, inspirational, and incredible. I mean, the energy of people has just been.
Like I see, Izzy is still out there. Izzy is still rocking it. You know, well done, Izzy. Really well done. And there's been people out there that I know personally have pushed it.
Izzy Kamikaze, when she came in here, I produced a picture that appeared of her from Reeling in the Years on a old black and white
70s,
early 70s campaign for LGBT rights. And there she was today, covered in what was the expression? Someone said, "You look like a yes shop puked on you." and, you know, and
Taryn DeVere, the outfits Taryn DeVere has on today. Well done, Taryn. She's just absolutely outstanding.
But even that, like someone like Dara Doyle is out there trying to coordinate people to help get them lifts to certain locations.
They ship up in the airport to doing the exact same, driving people over and back.
Look.
Huge amount of people have come together to make this happen.
And you know what's really getting to me? It's the other arseholes who are saying, "Oh yeah, we should put that into homelessness or something." And you're like going, guys, this is important today. Let's not be the arsehole who wants to, you know, we can take empowerment and actually move it into, you've registered over 100,000 new voters.
Yeah.
If I'm an elected politician, that might scare me a bit. There's now an actual empowered electorate who know that they can make social change. I think Mary Lou said it last night when she was asked on Scaldy and Baldy, and she said that she said that don't trust legislators. She said, well, legislators are answerable to the general public.
Yeah,
and she's right. They are now. You know.
Have you heard this? Have you decided to do Scaldy and Baldy at all yet?
I haven't. Yeah. And actually, Matt Cooper is kind of a voice. It's kind of, the voice comes from Matt Cooper as well.
Yeah.
Because at the end of work, I used to work in a warehouse, and Matt Cooper would always come on the last word. The last word would always come on the last hour of work, and we really want to get out of there, so I can't listen to Matt Cooper anymore. I mean, I
have my own reasons for not listening to him, but that's
Ivan is just predictable.
Ivan Yates would turn around and go, temperatures are up to 26 degrees this weekend, and people are just so full of themselves. Let's have a row. You know, we need a bit of rain.
Yeah. What was it he said recently? And I was cracking up. He said, cannabis is a gateway drug.
Yeah.
You're looking at Ivan, you're going, Ivan, please.
Was it Colette Brown was sitting beside him? And she just said, he said, cannabis, it's a gateway drug. And Colette Brown turned around and said, Ivan, I can't believe you said that. and he started backpedaling immediately.
She was brilliant. Actually, that particular show, she was brilliant. She backhanded one of the Healy Rays across the room. You could hear the smack from where I was. It was unreal.
But, I suppose what I want to ask the question then is, how could you, there's so much in Irish media that can be parodied, but in terms of the route way to turning it into something else, that's got to be something that, did you give that any thought of how, is there would you do a show, would you go live, would you make a podcast, would you do?
I'll put it this way: how do you monetize it? How do you make money out of it?
Yeah, and I thought about it, and I was approached by several people asking me, will you do a podcast? And I'd never actually listened to a podcast before, so I was like,
you're like Martin.
I don't know, but yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Would be the podcast route, and it can't be too long. It has to be kind of short, because everything I do is short form anyway, and people aren't going to sit there and watch a 15-minute video anymore. It's a minute, and it's all that kind of stuff. So I've been thinking about how do I progress that and does it become stale? You know, do I fall into a lot of the other tropes that, say, people in RTE fall into when they do satire and things like that? I mean, I used to love The Savage Eye, but then I think he made a series quite quickly, like one after the other, and it was just very...
It lost its punch.
Yeah, do you know?
It lost its punch.
I'd be afraid of that happening.
Yeah.
You know, so it has to be fresh, it has to be good before I put it out there.
Yeah. I find like, cause that's, and we're the exact opposite. We put out any old shit, man.
Feed the monster. Feed the content monster.
Oh no, there is an element though. There is an element that you do have to feed the content monster, and you can't. So like you'd write a line, and I'd imagine you write that line, and you probably, you know, give it a bit of thought, maybe go back to it. Whereas I deleted your intro before you came in and had to rewrite it in about 15 seconds. So yeah, no, there's definitely an element of the podcast genre, yeah, but maybe you'd be looking at something like, you know, as you said, a 10-minute interview is it's hard to script something for 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I did try it. I did try doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But because I'm the only person in the podcast, I was voicing myself and doing the guests. I was also doing like, you know, kind of jingles and like music and all that kind of stuff. There's just a lot of different pieces there.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I got to do it and I got to put that amount of work into it, I think it would be good. It just takes a really long time.
Well, you look at Oliver Callan and Callan's Kicks, which is just a sketch show. It's a really good sketch show. I really happen to really enjoy it, but he has a team of writers that pile in. He has musicians who work on the music and the different gifts. Like when you hear a certain guitar chord, you'll go, oh, the next skit is going to be Michael D.
Yeah.
You know by the tone of the music, because you're familiarized that that's almost the intro in and the intro out. So all of that stuff, like it's as a one-man band.
Before your time, and it is before your time, it was Scrap Saturday.
Yeah.
And Scrap Saturday was a series of very fast, very, very quick sketches.
Navin, man.
One-liners put together.
I do remember something about that, actually. Yeah.
It was really, really cutting edge at the time. And probably a bit dated now, but it was on the money back then.
Yeah, and it was controversial.
Dermot Morgan, sure, he was brilliant.
And he was run out of RTE after it.
I obviously used to do Mara for Charlie High.
PJ.
PJ Mara he did the best PJ Mara you've ever heard, and Charlie High he did great ones, but he picked just a few specific ones and just hammered them and just kept hammering them, and it was a thing of beauty to listen to. It really was.
Yeah.
So I think those type of shows, people loved them, and it was very quick.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to pick on you, but you're here, Michael. So like, it's your one. So when you did the stand-up comic one, that's the sort of stuff that could really, that's broadcastable. Martin loves to say broadcastable. If that is because it had your tone. It was your identity was already in it.
Yeah.
Because you'd established, as you said, a platform, a voice, and all the rest, and the tone was there. And when you were putting that out, I was sitting there and I'm skitting my arse off laughing at this. And what is it? I hate my mother-in-law. Do you hate your mother-in-law? Text me on 53106. And I'm just thinking, yes, that's great. Like, yeah, because it's taking a stand-up comic and actually that trope and putting it into your shtick. That has to be transferable into other realms as well.
Well, it's that idea is that everything is so strictly formatted on radio. Is that what if the radio presenter was actually a stand-up comic?
Yeah,
and it just continue as if it's a radio show. That's the way I would do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an algorithm. You sort of drop something in, a really weird element, and you just take it as far as you can then. Yeah, well,
to algorithms, every time I hear algorithm, I can actually see my phone going GDPR, emails are coming in.
Did you get your Twitter thing sorted today?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, such a pain in the arse. You can't proceed unless you're 147 bot accounts are, you have to kill it.
I like this. He's just admitted that he has nothing but egg accounts on his system. And he makes fun of me because he goes, Tony, how come you've got so few followers?
Never say a word about followers. Never. Not the least bit worried. Couldn't care less.
Talk to me when you've over 5,000 was the phrase.
Have you seen have you done a good bit more travelling now since all of this kicked off? Have you done a lot more travelling?
Not really, no, because I was living in Northern Ireland at the time. I was living in Coleraine. And there's not a whole lot to do in Coleraine.
I wouldn't think so.
There is. Port Rush and Port Stewart are lovely parts of the world.
Yeah. It's nice for a holiday, let's say.
Yeah.
But,
quiet on a Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't open till 1 o'clock and then closes at 6 or something. So it's really odd that way. So it just all this kind of came out of boredom, and then stuff started happening. Like people started, contacting me, being like,
"You couldn't have just taken up drinking, no."
Yeah, well, I don't know. People started then being like, "Oh, do you want to appear in this?" Like, people like iRadio come on to me, and people asking me to do stuff in Dublin. And I was like, "Oh God, I wish I lived in Dublin." Now I do, so I was like, "Okay, I'll go and pursue this, and I'll see how far it goes." No, I haven't done any travelling or.
So you're still thinking of moving back down here to Big Schmock?
I have moved down. I moved down already.
Oh, you're in the Big Schmock.
I'm back. Got a new job and everything. So
that's excellent. Yeah, you enjoyed it.
I am. Yeah. I had to move home again because obviously rents are extortionate.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be back.
It is. Yeah, it is. There's nowhere quite like Dublin.
That's one way of putting it on, right? And I'm the true blue dove, not like you who live in Meath.
Look, I'm exiled. The property crisis caught us. Exiled us out there in country land, but we're so slowly taking it over. Ashbourne is I'd say 50-50 Dubs. We'll soon have it in the boundaries.
Oh yeah, you need a Dublin bus route. That'll get you in there. Like Dunboyne.
We're so close. You're in Dunboyne, right?
No, I'm in Navan. So we're just slightly
now
out.
off from the city centre.
I'm we're gonna talk David McWilliams again and how we're all back into Pope's children and remember the Kells Angels, the Kells Angels and the next stop we're living in Kells, but don't worry, once the property prices keep going up, you're going to be living in Swords in no time.
I have to go to Navan for some things, even though I'm much closer to Dublin. I have to go to Navan for some things, and it's like an expedition out there of 2 camels and a pony out the back of the car, just in case that happens.
It's not there's a decent road out to Navan. It's not the worst now. You're going cross country.
Going cross country, yeah.
So, okay, you arrive back in Ireland. In Ireland. God, on the island of Ireland.
Look, there he is, true colours.
Oh yeah, literally the republicanism is seeping out my pores. But no, I'd be just more. I look at it from terms of, and I know this sounds really, really broad, but we've had great people in, like Aaron from Aaron Valley, and we've had even Terry and John, and people talking about trying to get money through
the arts,
to do stuff in the arts. I find it staggering that people like yourself, people like Ruthie Fitz, who I was lucky to talk to, talented people. I can't imagine people aren't knocking down your door saying, listen, here, what would it take if we gave you enough money to live for 3 months, could you come back with a load of work for us, if you know what I mean? And I just find that there's no pathway in Ireland. I find that actually a bit disappointing, because I think...
I think it's a very tough one to break into. And you see what John Connors, and we had John in here. John's a force. Yeah. Is the only way to describe John. He is a force, but he's also a very talented actor. He was in here and he is in and out of accents so fast. The guy is really, quick. And he's struggling to get funding for what he wants to do. So, when you have somebody who actually has a good track record and they can't get funding, Terry's the same. Terry made a movie for, what did he say?
984 euro was his budget for Charlie Casanova, and it opened in South by Southwest. Like, if you go to South by Southwest, 500,000 people attend South by Southwest. And the budget of 984 euro was for food. Yeah. Everybody worked for free.
They didn't even get the price of a flight over, which was
Well, they arrived in Texas for the event. And they went in and there was an actual hospitality event on for the movie. And when they got there, they weren't on the guest list. Members of the Irish government and Culture were. But Terry and the gang weren't. And they had to explain, I'm actually the writer and director. And this is actually the lead star. And this is actually... And they eventually, we're so sorry, but in you come. But they weren't even on the list. So it's that disconnect that really stuff like that. As I said, we saw the Ireland account when Ruth took it over, and it was this kind of explosion of colour and light, and she has just got such a great eye for things and a simple way of phrasing things. It just pulls you in, and I'm just going, oh my God, how is there not a publisher out there screaming for someone like that to do these things? You know, make. Did you see she was putting up tweets going, and I think maybe Dublin Zoo might be interested in giving me a job as social media coordinator. I think Darren Doyle replied something like, this is not a job interview. This is not like a, but fair play to her as well. But you just
there is other ways to fund things now as well. Like if you come up with a good idea, there's always crowdfunding. There's always other avenues to go at it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Blind Boy podcast,
yes,
that's Patreon. And other like friends of mine who've done film or whatever would use crowdfunding as well. Yeah. To be honest, that's probably the route I would go down if I needed money to make something.
Well, I think you'd be mad not to, because you've created an audience. You know what I mean, you've created an audience, and that's how you do it. Because the simple fact is, if you go to something like a Patreon, let's go even more broader than that. The first people to do it successfully in the podcast game were the Second Captains, and they went out with podcasts a couple of times a week on sports and stuff, and then they turned around and they said, okay, come with us for €5 a month, and 10,000 people did automatically. Yeah, and you can. They put the skin in the game. They built an audience. They worked it up, and they did it. It still infuriates me, because it just means that the gatekeepers then on the other ends who are in the mainstream are still looking at that, and they're sneering at it, going, well, I'm a PAYE worker, I'm a publisher or an editor, and I've got a news desk or something. And you're going, yeah, but you know what, the voices in here, if you could introduce voices like yourself, voices like Ruth, voices like, even there's brilliant animators that we see on Twitter all the time, and you just go like, oh my God, these people are better than the stuff. If you gave them, I think I'm right in saying that one of the Liam Neeson voiceover films of here's a sky shot of something like was $500,000 was spent on one of these videos where Ireland, the World Atlantic Way or whatever, and you're thinking, yeah, okay, that's grand, that's lovely. But could we give 500 struggling artists a few grand each and send them off into the world and see if they can come back with stuff? Because we do like to tell the world that we're an island of poets and writers and artists and musicians. Give some of them a leg up.
Yeah, in the past everybody depended Wild, and these people depended on rich benefactors, and there isn't many rich benefactors out there unless you work for News Talk. Then there's one really big rich benefactor out there.
I think he's getting fed up of the media spotlight recently.
So, other than that, you're left to scramble around to get it for yourself. But you have built an audience. It would be a pity to lose the audience. You got to keep feeding that content.
That's it. And I've let it go by the wayside recently, and I just need to get back into it and just keep making things. And I suppose I am a little bit afraid of making something terrible. Yeah. But at the same time, I think I need to be a bit less harsh on myself, because I think about American sitcoms, and they fund them for 3 seasons. So no matter how terrible it is in the first season, it still keeps going. So The Office, for example, had a bad first season, or Parks and Rec, because they're all just finding their feet. Yeah. I feel like we don't have that here. No. Because you think of Derry Girls, they've only had 1 season, and it was great. But, imagine how great it would be if we funded it for the 3 and we just let them go ahead with it.
And you could have a writer who could have a vision for 3 seasons, as opposed to just not knowing if he was going to be working or she was going to be working in 6 months' time. Because that is a huge issue. When you think of, people make it now when Netflix picks them up. Because when they make it with Netflix now, Netflix go, look, we don't really need it to be instantaneously successful, because we'll have it there forever. And it's the old cliche, but everybody says everybody has seen The Wire, but most people didn't see it when it came out. You know what I mean?
I watched it this year, actually.
Exactly. So it proves my point. People go and they revisit it, and once they own the content, it's there forever. Yeah. It's the reason why they're paying people like Chris Rock $10 million.
Did I see they just passed Disney for the first time yesterday, size-wise? I did too.
What was that for bandwidth or?
No, as
market share.
Yeah.
Well, they've I know, like you saw, they signed the Obamas, I believe, during the week.
Yes, they did.
The Obamas are going to make shows for Netflix. You know, that'll be interesting. You know,
actually, would you do something like Big Brother? There you go.
I was sent the first dates application there this week. Welcome back to Smooth Talk.
That's you and Tony.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Is there a Michael Crash and Burn? Oh God, no! I can't. That's oh look, you should be flattered. You know, some of the greats have been on. What's it called?
You've got to do that. You've got to do it. You do. I mean,
look at him. He's only bulling like.
Oh, there's no way I do it. Oh no. I've got some self-esteem.
Call me. No, you don't. Oh look, but that's gas, because when you think about it, there is two genres there that we've hit on. It's the magazine show or the panel show, and then there's the reality show, and you probably that's probably the best. That's you know, I hate to say they're cheap to make. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, you're not paying, no big outlay. You've got whatever, the panel show, just a studio, a desk, and away you go. A crowd, a mob, they come in and yell or whatever it is. But like, same with them with these reality shows, you just get people and you give them their 5 minutes of fame. And I think before we came on, I actually spoke to you briefly about that phenomenon where I was listening to a CEO talking recently, and he was saying that people who seek fame as the ambition end up miserable. But if you get famous because you're good at something, that's the route to do it. So I think you're right. If you're good at something, you put the hours into something, you work at it. You know, something like your pieces, your sketches, they have potential to develop into something. But if you're just like Martin and you want to know about clicks and retweets and likes, you're just going to end up looking at him. You don't end up like that guy.
I am just dressed to impress.
He's toes out. He's like Yoda with his legs pulled up under him.
I have to say though, those reality shows, I think they're more for people who have like screwed up a career and then they want to make a comeback. It's kind of like the Shannon. It is kind of like the Shannon. You fucked up somewhere. How are we going to get you back into the public eye? Look, we'll put you in the Shannon. And then people can look at you for a while, and then they can vote the next time out whether they like you.
It was that great moment when Aidan O'Riordan actually was pushing remember his video about Trump that he made in the Shannon, but he was promoting it as a tweet. You're like, my video has gone viral. It's been seen by 500,000 people. And you're going, stop saying it yourself, though. Yeah. That's not really the point, Nate. That, let it, if it goes viral, it goes viral. That's great and happy for you. But you don't want to be the guy who's seen to be, back slapping yourself for like,
Yeah, well, we all love Aidan. We do. And the one thing we can say is no matter how much we love him, he loves himself even more. So, respect where it's due.
Well, I tell you, he's a yes voter today, and and we're going to forgive everybody today for the yes votes.
I absolutely think we should have a little word there with. There's what left to go, Tony, before the polls close.
We've got 2 hours anyway.
So I'm hoping all those little woke bros, the McGregor boys, I'm hoping they're the ones that are, oh no, it's not to do with me. I'm not voting in that. I hope they realise that if they don't get their arses up and get out and vote, they'll be in pubs on their own for the rest of the year. Nobody's going to talk to them. Nobody's going to have anything to do with them. Get your arse up, get out there and vote. And I really hope they do.
I think we're gonna stay positive on this. This is going to pass. There's a lot of people, and I think tomorrow is going to be a good day for the country, a good day for us as a little bit more compassionate towards one another. And I think
that's shackles coming off.
Yeah, just some of the shackles. It's far from a great way to treat people in terms of what we do. We have a lot of crisis still there. But we can at least say we've cleared one hurdle. I suppose, is there if I could ask one thing of you, Michael, though, is there like anything people that you'd love to work with or people you'd like to emulate?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I suppose the Savage Eye, probably the early seasons of that I thought were amazing.
They were.
Because he did he was so biting, and I love that about it. And I'd love to do something like that. But then there's other people who kind of, I got a retweet from Kevin Bridges.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's people you've always followed, and you think, God, could I work with them? Could I send them a cheeky DM and be like, how's it going?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, exactly. See what I mean? Like,
slide into the DMs there.
I heard this week is the Canadian singer Grimes, is that her name?
Yeah.
She's going out with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And you know how they met?
The concert or something.
No, he slid into her DMs when she sent a tweet. She sent a tweet about something, and she's a lefty and he's an uber capitalist.
I wonder what first attracted her to the Billy Mary thing. I wonder what it was.
Yeah, well, it was just because the only reason I know this is because I know the internet went into meltdown because she's kind of a hero of the left, and he's kind of the guy that has no unions allowed, and he's got a checkered past when it comes to some of these things. But I just thought it was funny that he was literally a DM slider. He turned around and went, "Hey, how you doing? Did you let me Tesla?"
If somebody's there, if Scorsese comes on there and says, "Oh, great retweet," in there straight away, absolutely straight away. Yeah,
no, like I think that people like yourself and all that there should be okay. There's two things I think actually. Martin knows this. I think you don't have to wait around for the status quo to
change.
To change. You deliver it yourself. You keep doing what you're doing. You're putting it out there. You're entertaining people, and people really love it. Like you've infiltrated when you have Gavin Riley singing at a press conference. You've gotten into the mainstream consciousness, and I think that's a really good thing. And I think what you've done is actually had people poked a bit of fun at people, but they've enjoyed it, because that's not easy to do. I think
because I always try and set so that it's wholesome.
Yeah,
I'm not kind of too cruel to anybody. I hope. And there's a lot of that on Twitter where people kind of quote tweet someone and just like, "Oh, you're a big idiot." Like, I don't know if you see, but like, and I try not to do that. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to make something kind of sweet and funny, and people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You think about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah. People love that because it's really wholesome and nice, and it's not cruel. Yeah. So that's kind of what I want to do. And I think it's very easy to make humor out of kind of making fun of people, when actually, if you try not to do that, if you try not to be nasty or controversial or that kind of stuff, it's a lot harder. So your jokes have to be a bit clever. So that's kind of what I aim to make.
Yeah. If you want to see the opposite, so if you're looking to see what you shouldn't do, just look at his timeline, because he's the guy doing the quote tweeting and calling everybody under the sun.
I know. I'm respectful. Very respectful. But it is. You're right. It's harder to write genuinely funny comedy than it is to write something that's cutting or a bit more satire. If you're cutting at somebody, we all like to laugh a little at the fool, but it's much harder to write something that everybody comes away feeling okay about.
Yeah.
You leave people dignity. That's an art, actually. Even in the corporate world, a guy who comes in and gives you a proper fucking dressing down and leaves you a little bit of dignity. They're known as psychopaths, but they can do it. Look, honestly, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the videos. Thanks for the stuff you do. I think people like you have been a little, whether you want to call them social media phenoms or something, but you certainly brighten up what is can be a dark place at times, and it's really great when you see people finding their voice. And I really think that there's a lot more to come from Michael.
I think, Michael, you haven't found your full voice yet. I don't think you have, and I think you have a way to go to find that. And when you do, just remember these two poor idiots over there. Lots and lots of money.
No, cheers. Thanks for coming in, Martin.
That's it. Look, good luck, everybody. Hope everything works out for tomorrow. Myself and Tony will try and do a little something tomorrow to touch base with everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, folks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.